Hello, today we will talk about exclusive right to sell list agreement for our tutorial. Basically, let's talk about just listing properties. When you get to this level, we have already talked in other tutorials about the process of finding the expired listing or the other opportunity to list the property. We have already discussed that. Once we have actually listed the property, um, now we need to actually fill out the actual listing agreement. So we've done our research, we've marketed, we've formed, our phone rings, we go out, we actually give the listing presentation. Now that we've actually completed the listing presentation and the seller decides, yes, I would like you to list my home. This is the exclusive right to sell listing agreement. That's the exclusive right to sell listing agreement. You know, there is two different ways we can do it: right to sell or exclusive right to sell. Exclusive right to sell means the listing agent will get paid regardless of who sells the property. Right to sell means the agent only gets paid, or the brokerage firm will only get paid if you bring, if you are the cause of the sale. So today let's talk about exclusive right to sell. The first line, we put in the date, the actual date. It's very simple. If you hover over the calendar and push the calendar, the actual date will come out. And you can insert the date as such. And you can change any part of the date you would like. But this date should be the actual day that you're actually putting together this agreement. I will not bore you and read to you every single word on this contract. I know you all can read, so instead I will highlight some very important areas. First, important broker disclosures. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All 4 is basically different disclosures. Number 1, advises about the actual broker relationship. We are independent contractors, not employees. Number 2, advises about the different conflicts, about dual agency, limited agency, and how we can represent both sides, and also what Georgia law says about that. Number 3, talks about the broker compensation, and number 4 talks about certain information that's confidential that the seller or even the broker should or should not disclose. Now, when I say broker, please understand broker means broker and broker licensee. So broker is really meaning the real estate firm itself. First, broker as limited agent. Basically, this is a listing agreement that is giving the broker the right to list one property. And you have limited authority as a limited agent to represent this person in one transaction and one transaction only, which is literally the purchase and sale of real estate. Broker will make disclosures to prospective buyers about the seller's property, and the broker have the right to do that. It is the seller's obligation to give full disclosure to the broker. Anything that the seller knows about the property, Georgia law says the seller should disclose any and all information to the broker. The next area basically says the broker or the broker's licensee can provide assistance to the buyer without violating the responsibility to the seller. So we can have ministerial acts to the buyer, basic everyday things such as if the buyer needs a lender or an inspector, closing attorney, insurance agent, we can give basic assistance to the buyer without breaking our responsibility to the seller. Next, we have dual agency. What is dual agency? Dual agency is permitted by Georgia law as long as the seller consents in writing. And in very bold letters here, it says you do not have to consent to dual agency. What is dual agency? Dual agency basically is when a broker represents both the buyer and the seller. That's when the broker represents both the buyer and the seller. This is considered dual agency. It is legal, but it has to be in consent with both buyer and seller. At Platinum Real Estate, our policy and procedure clearly states any and all dual agency, it must be approved by the broker. Now, understand, dual agency can come in many forms. If one agent represents the buyer and the seller, that's considered dual agency. But also, if the brokerage firm, Platinum Real Estate, represents the buyer and the seller, that's still dual agency. Even though there is two different people or two different agents representing two different sides of the transaction, please remember Platinum Real Estate is the broker. So if Platinum Real Estate represents both sides, we are still looking at dual agency. Okay? Now, let's get into the actual contract itself. Exclusive right to sell listing agreement. In the first section, we want to just simply put the actual date of this particular contract. We can choose any date we choose. And it's between the seller, Joe Seller. Please make sure everybody that's on the deed, their name is in this area. All of the owners should be in this area. And it is between the seller and the next line is for Platinum Real Estate. How long is the term, or how long will the lease, will this contract be valid? I like to have a 6-month listing agreement. I highly recommend when you do your CMA, a comparative market analysis, you know typically how long properties are staying on the market. Personally, I like to have a 6-month listing agreement. Please understand that listing agreement can be any amount of time. It is 100% negotiable. In this area here, we actually put in the cost or the price we are planning on listing the house for. On each page, the seller should initial at the bottom of each page. Area number 2 is the property, the actual property location, and we need the full address and the full description of the property. Number 3, broker's compensation. Typically, the broker's compensation is 6%. We check that box right there, and typically is 6%. Please understand that all compensation is negotiable. So it can be anything that all parties agree to. Remember that this 6% typically is a co-op amount, so the listing agent will get 3% and the selling agent will get 3%. And 3.1 basically says broker will receive this amount of money when we find a ready, willing, and able buyer. This is very important in bold. It is understood and agreed by the seller that this is an exclusive right to sell, and that even if the seller, during the term of this agreement or any extension hereof, sells the property, broker shall be entitled to a commission at the rate specified herein. Very important. This is basically saying this particular agreement, we will get paid regardless. Next, this area is basically a retainer area. Seller has paid to broker a retainer fee in the amount of, and I just put in here for an example, $1,000. Now, this is very important. Most agents will put 0 in that blank. It's no problem putting 0 in that blank. You can do that. But please understand this. This is basically saying it costs money for us to market the property. We have expenses associated with actually trying to sell this property. This is a retainer fee. The seller will receive credit for the retainer fee at the time of closing when I am paid my full commission. If I do not receive my full commission, we could have in here that the retainer fee is non-refundable. So a retainer fee can be handled in many different ways, refundable or non-refundable. But basically, a retainer fee says I will get compensated for my efforts, for my time and my effort. Typically, the higher the property, the higher the cost we have to incur. So typically, higher the retainer fee. I will make this very clear. You are not required to have a retainer fee. Many agents will not have a retainer fee. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can see the benefits of having a retainer fee. Number 4, other relationships. This is just saying that the broker may co-op or may pay other brokers to help in selling of the property. So if I am listing the property and a client comes in represented by an agent, I can pay the other agent accordingly. Whatever we agree to, and everything is 100% negotiable. This area here basically says if the property is sold within 60 days after the expiration date, I, the listing agent, will still get paid. This clause is very important to us because this is just basically saying that a seller cannot, at the very end of the contract, take one of the clients that we've been working with and then go behind our back and sell it to them and plan on not paying us, not giving us compensation. Seller acknowledges that the broker is a member of FMLS and MLS. Number 5, marketing. Broker is hereby authorized to sell and advertise the property. We can put a for sale sign in the front yard. We can put it in the MLS and FMLS as a listing. And we can put a lockbox on the front door. So this basically gives us the authority to actually market the property. We cannot discriminate, though, because of sex, color, race, origin, and those type of things. Number 6, property disclosure. In this area, we are talking about the property disclosure. Basically, the seller have the responsibility to disclose anything they know to the broker. So anything dealing with the condition, liens, if the property have lead-based paint, if the property have asbestos, any physical type of characteristics or problems, if the property have gas, termites, anything that the seller is aware about, they should disclose it to their broker. Number 7, hold harmless. Basically is saying that we are real estate brokers, we are real estate agents, we are not the jack of all trades. So we are not, engineers, we are not termite inspectors, we are not plumbers and contractors and property inspectors. We are not all of those different things, and the seller will hold us harmless for those type of things. Number 8 is a lot of different miscellaneous type of verbiage in the contract. And then we have some special stipulations. So anything that's not included in this contract but you would like to include in the contract, we would put under special stipulations. Then on the left side, the broker signs, and on the right side is the area for the seller. And for this example, Joe Sample would go in that area, and the seller would sign above his name. On our side, the corporation name is Platinum Real Estate. Our broker code, PLREO1. Phone number 404-559-0332. Agent name is going to be your name in that area. The agent phone number, agent fax, and the email address on all contracts should be your first name dot last name at platinumrealestate.com. That's first name dot last name at platinumrealestate.com. You would throw in your broker number, your broker license number, and then your personal number. Have your client initial at the bottom of the page, and your listing agreement is indeed complete. If you have any questions, please feel free to always contact me. I look forward to speaking to all of my agents very, very soon. And now you have completed the exclusive right to sell listing agreement.